On behalf of the motion picture industry, welcome to the world of home video entertainment.
Hello everybody, John Hand with the Pulsing Cinema, Eyes of Fire video again here. Again, I was been fired up by The Witch, and there's this great underappreciated horror film from the early 80s called Eyes of Fire, a very unique film, a colonial kind of witchy horror film from 83, though this says 84, copyright 84 Elysian Pictures. So this video we're going to be looking at a bit of a rarity here, the Vestron Video Laser Disc of Eyes of Fire here. It's got that great cover with the artwork with the girl who has this bustling dress and is running forward, and these things around her which look like kind of dead trees or stalks, but they're actually little skull hands. And then you've got the back with the picture of the witch. This is the witch in the film, which we get a good picture of the cat's eyes, cold eyes and hot fire, as Fanny Dalton would say in the film. Great film about a bunch of settlers it says in the American frontier. 1750 is the year given at the start of the film. In 1750, a group of settlers who venture into this valley, which is under the control, under the sway of this evil witch character, this tree witch, and it really is a powerful film. A bit slow going in the beginning, but establishing character and the authenticity of the time and the place. But then toward the end, when all the characters get into this kind of makeshift fort in this haunted valley, and they're being besieged by these evil spirits who are like these naked, like Aboriginal people who are covered in mud people. These mud people who are kind of appearing and disappearing in these kind of Georges Méliès kind of camera effects, very simplistic, almost silent film camera effects, which give the film the kind of almost experimental feel. It makes for a really great story, really great film, and just blown away by it. I mean, the 35mm is great. The 35mm is the way to see it, but the Laserdisc is at this point the best we have as far as U.S. home video. There was the VHS release, which had the same cover, and the VHS is okay. I tracked the VHS down years ago. It's not necessarily obscure VHS. The Laserdisc is a little more, I thought it would have a slightly better transfer. I thought it would have, the same transfer, but a little more Laserdisc-y, a little more, colorful, a little more detail. And it does, but it's still that, mid-80s analog transfer, because this film was shot around, 83, 84, package and design, copyright 1987. Vestron, so this film must have been released around 1987. Now there was a Japanese Laserdisc release, which the Laserdisc database notes that was 1986 from a company called Pony Canyon, and it has Japanese subtitles, and it has the incredible theatrical art. This film, the theatrical poster to this film was not this. This was, I think, created by Vestron. The theatrical art was actually quite stunning. It was this picture of the haunted tree full of souls. Really incredible cover art. The Pony Canyon release has some really stunning art, and like most Japanese releases, has an insert. I don't know if the Japanese release has a better transfer than this. I would assume it's another, mid-80s video transfer, probably not too dissimilar from this, to be quite honest. And 133, 4x3, and the Pony Canyon is 4x3 as well. There are numerous sources online which list this film as being 235 scope. I think the IMDb is 235 scope. It's not a scope film. It is a flat film. It's a 185 film. When you watch this film, it almost looks open matte. It probably is not, but it looks very well composed. It doesn't have that kind of zoomed in pan and scan scope, pan and scan look. And I can confirm from watching the 35mm that it's 4x3. It's close to open matte, or but it's not a scope film. In other words, I don't know where that detail came from. In any case, it has chapters. I think that's all it has. As far as chapters, extended play, CLV. There's not too many stunning details about this Laserdisc, other than at this point, it's one of the few home video releases of this film ever. I mean, it's ridiculous that this film has got a VHS and a Laserdisc here in the U.S. and that's it. There's the Pony Canyon release. There was a VHD release from Victor that's listed in the Laserdisc database. VHD was another competing Japanese home video format, very much like CED. Or what we got in the U.S. CED. VHD was a technically superior version of VHD, basically. And so there's that, and then there's some, of course, European VHS releases of this, and then there is a Brazilian DVD release, which is under the Brazilian title for it. That used to show up a lot. That was released around in the early 2000s, around 2003, 2004, maybe even earlier. That used to show up on eBay a lot more, and I think it has burned-in yellow Portuguese subtitles. And again, I've seen some screenshots of it online. If you do some really hard searches into the Brazilian title for Eyes of Fire, you'll see it, but it doesn't look that impressive at all. It doesn't look like it's anything other than possibly just even a rip of this era transfer. And then I believe there also is a Thai DVD of it that was out there. That was again released in the early 2000s. I cannot even barely find any information online about that Thai release. It looked like it had the cover of the Pony Canyon, the original cover art, and then I found what I think is a screenshot of it, but it has VHS on it. I don't know if that's even real, if that's a fake cover or what. It looks kind of authentic, but I don't know. There's very little about this film online. It's a painfully obscure film that is cherished and beloved by a small group of acolytes. And really great. The makeup artists, especially the makeup effects, with this witch character and the kind of physical, spooky, experimental stuff, something like incredible. So there's that. There's the Thai and Brazilian DVDs, and then there's a bootleg DVD release, which I think uses the Japanese Laserdisc release, and that's out there. And that's even you do some searches and you find that's even gotten into some public libraries. Some public libraries have bought that release and. Well, I mean, it's almost like a bootleg is the only game in town if you really want to watch this movie anymore. I don't know what happened to the actors, as I said, were kind of television actors. They did a lot of stuff. Carlene Crockett, who plays Leia, was in Dallas, I think, for a while, and I think she's retired and does some theater. Guy Boyd is still a working actor who plays Marion Nightshade, I guess, the guy, the kind of the trapper, the mountain man, who always kind of, I always thought there was some kind of Western, archetypal American Western stuff going on in this film as well. A deep love of the American Western infused in kind of Davy Crockett type stuff. And I always wondered if Marion was a reference to the Duke, to John Wayne, if his character's name, but I don't know if it is. Will Hare, who I think is like the old man at the beginning when in Back to the Future, he's one of those character actors where oh, I've seen that guy from somewhere. He's in this film. Fran Ryan, an older woman, who again is one of those character actors. So this film is full of really well-known character actors. And then Dennis Lipscomb, who I was talking about earlier, who was the lead in Retribution. He was in A Soldier Story, a television actor, did a lot of great work until he passed away. Over a decade ago at this point, I believe. So, and then the director, apparently a photographer, who's only done a few movies here, and so a bit of a mystery film as well, a film that you watch and you're like, man, this is really good. Why is this so obscure? And your guess is as good as mine. If it was some kind of weird way it was financed, the investments, I don't know. I don't know, why this movie has disappeared into obscurity when it's just waiting to be. It's a catalog title that's just waiting to get, rediscovered. It's just waiting for some adventurous DVD publisher or Blu-ray publisher to acquire it and get it back out there. And I think with The Witch being such a hit, such a hype machine success, it's the perfect opportunity to pull this movie out of the mothballs and really get it in front of the eyeballs of some cinephiles, because it really is deserving of that. But it's old. I mean this Laserdisc, the labels for the A and B sides just came off. They just fell off in my hands. The glue was just like, the glue is gone, bye-bye. And so now I don't know which side is the A side and the B side. I don't know if that's a good thing, it's a bad thing, as far as, the heat it was subjected to, or the stresses that caused it, or it's just the age. I mean, it's an 87 Laserdisc. I mean, my God, it's decades and decades old. But Eyes of Fire, again, so the verdict is the US Laserdisc is good. Pony Canyon Japanese Laserdisc, is it good? Has anyone else watching this video seen it? If you have, get in touch with me, do a comment, let us know what the Japanese Laserdiscs look like. Does the Portuguese DVD, Brazilian DVD look good? Does the Thai DVD look good? I mean, there's so little information about the movie online. If you're a lover, a collector of it, whatever of it, if you were in the movie, do a comment, write, tell me, let me know. Inquiring minds want to know more about this film and the video releases here. I guess it's not one of my favorite movies of all time, but it is one of those movies that I'll every once in a while, 6 or 7 months, I'll watch and I'll be like, man, this is a good movie, and then I'll start the hunt for it. I'll get a little piece of memorabilia, a little, VHS or Laserdisc or something. It just boggles my mind why this film isn't more well known. So in any case, Eyes of Fire, great movie. The February 2016 showing at the Draft House in 35mm was great, and it is. I did just find out that it is going to be showing on March 8th, 2016 at the Cinefamily, which is kind of like the sister theater of the Draft House in Los Angeles. They kind of share a lot of prints between them. It probably will be the Draft House AGFA print. So if you're in the Los Angeles area or know someone, you want to see this movie, if you're a lover, make the pilgrimage to Los Angeles in a week. Because I think that's next Tuesday, March 8th. And buy yourself a ticket and take the ride. because it is a wild, wild film. The climax of this film makes up for any kind of waiting. The waiting is kind of cool, because the beginning of the film, by the way, this film had a soundtrack by Brad Fiedel, who, the Terminator, Just Before Dawn, you know, the man, Brad Fiedel, Serpent in the Rainbow. And it's in the beginning, they're moving down this river on a raft, this lake, and it feels like something out of like Agira, Wrath of God, or Apocalypse Now. And he's doing this boom, 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 like the Apocalypse Now soundtrack. You know, there's a lot of synth strikes, and then there's this like traditional Irish jigs and music and stuff. I don't know if Fiedel also did that as well, or what, but incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. Is even production designed by Greg Fonseca is great. And oh man, great film.